Hello, everybody. How are you today? Fine, thank you. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is stress. How stress works. As you know, stress is a very important characteristic of prosody. It gives us the rhythm, that special music of languages have. For example, when we speak Spanish, we have this certain rhythm. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Estoy muy bien, gracias. But when we listen to a conversation in French, we notice that the music of the language is different. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Ça va? Ça va bien? Ça va mal? The music is different. Can you appreciate that? Well, so stress is different in all the languages, and English is not the exception. So we're going to start today with the sentence stress. But first, we have to revise the first concept. And the first concept is isochrony. Okay? Okay, let me see. Bernice, can you help me with the first paragraph, please?
Isochrony is the idea that a language rhythmically divides time into equal portions. Three types of divisions are postulated. The duration of every syllable is equal. Syllable time. The duration of every word is equal. Word time. The temporal duration between two stressed syllables is equal. Stress time.
Okay. Isochrony is a characteristic of prosody. Isochrony and stress and intonation work together to create this magical rhythm or this music that languages have. For example, let's check the duration of every syllable is equal, which is syllable time. This is just for your information, because it's not important for English or Spanish. Let me see. Okay, there we go. In Spanish, for example, let's say, Correcto, please read this sentence. This phrase.
Escuela Normal del Estado.
Very familiar, right? Very familiar phrase. Okay, when we read this in Spanish, Escuela Normal del Estado, we read every syllable with the same amount of time. And another important difference is that every syllable, every vowel within the syllables is pronounced fully. So when we say escuela, that a is exactly the same as the a in normal. Okay? So keep that in mind and take notes, please. Okay, there we go. Now, the second aspect. The duration of every mora is equal. Mora time. There are certain languages that are not divided into syllables, but are divided into moras. Let's check this out. Japanese, for instance. In this example, we have the word. This is one word. And it's represented by three symbols. We call them kanji in Japanese. And, well, if I explain the symbols, maybe it's a little bit difficult to understand because, well, for example, this is the sun. And as you can see, it doesn't look like the sun. It's just a representation. At the beginning, it was a picture of the sun. But then the writing system evolved, and we Japanese people created the kanji system. So this is the sun, this is something that comes out from the earth, and this is the word language. So it's the language of the people of Japan. And the problem is, how are we going to pronounce those kanjis? Then we have this hiragana syllabary that helps us to pronounce every kanji properly. For example, this one, is pronounced as ni. Okay? This is the pronunciation, ni. This one is pronounced as hon, the second kanji. And the third kanji is pronounced as go. So how many moras are there in this word? 4. Okay, 4 moras. This mora is ni, this one is ho, this one is n, and this one is go. So, all the moras must have the same duration. Well, it's simple if you compare this mora, ni, with ho, 2 sounds. But this mora carries just 1 sound, n. So you've got to pronounce that n with the same amount of time that the other moras. So we're going to say nihongo, nihongo. Did you get the idea? Yes. So this is the mora system. Okay? Good. Let's see. It seems that the board is not calibrated. There we are. Now, the third sentence is the temporal duration between 2 stressed syllables is equal. So this is the third type of isophrony, and it's stress time. Okay, let's check this out. Right, there we are. We have an example in Portuguese. Okay? Portuguese is not similar to Spanish in prosody. It's very similar in lexic. In lexis, for example, when we say esperanza in Spanish, we easily can relate esperanza to this word in Portuguese. So lexically, Spanish and Portuguese are very close, and also grammatically, but not in prosody. For example, this phrase is pronounced the belle Stefan. If you read it, it's easy to understand, right? It's easy to translate that. But if you listen to the utterance, the belle Stefan, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to understand. Why? What aspects can you tell that happened in this phrase? What can you tell me about the pronunciation of this phrase in Portuguese? Kimera?
We use the schwa.
We use the schwa. Yeah, where?
For example, in the A, we use a balance,
Okay.
Has less intonation.
Okay, so you're right, we have schwas. So, for instance, in this